Welcome back to the Living Simpler podcast. I want to start this episode with a simple but powerful idea. What if your business, your brand, and your entire life were built around who you really are, not who the world told you to be? What if instead of chasing the version of success that works for everyone else, you start aligning everything around what lights you up, how you're wired, and what makes you truly unique? This episode is a deeply personal one because I'm walking you through 4 of the most powerful self-awareness tools that I've used to help me better understand myself, my team, my spouse, and feel really good and clear on how I was showing up in my relationships and business. These tools gave me the clarity in the moments I wanted to give up. They helped me stop performing, start aligning, and building businesses that actually fit my energy and purpose. Here's the truth. You were never meant to build a business that burns you out. You were meant to build one that brings you alive. But in order to do that, you have to understand who you are at your core. The more you know yourself, the less you try to be anyone else. These assessments helped me understand my motivations, my energy, my work style, and even the way I'm designed to lead. And today, I'm sharing how they can help you too. So, whether you're feeling out of alignment or just curious about how to build a business and a life that feels like you, I invite you to listen with an open heart. Each of these tools is like a mirror, not to box you in, but to give you permission to show up more fully, more freely, and more powerfully in your life and business. Let's start with the one that was my gateway into self-awareness and personal growth, the Enneagram. If you're not familiar with it, is a personality framework based on 9 core types. But unlike surface-level personality tests that tell you what you do, the Enneagram goes much deeper. It helps you understand why you do what you do. It uncovers your core motivation, your deepest fears, your growth path, and even how you behave under stress or insecurity. Each of the 9 types has a unique lens through which they see the world. So I'm going to walk you through the 9 types. Type 1 is the reformer/perfecter. They're principled, purposeful, and driven by a need to be right and do the right thing. Type 2 is the helper, warm, caring, and motivated by the desire to be loved and needed. Type 3 is the achiever, success-oriented, image-conscious, and driven to prove their worth through results. Type 4 is the individualist, sensitive, introspective, and seeking to be unique and authentic. Type 5 is the investigator, analytical, private, and motivated by a need to understand and conserve energy. Type 6 is the loyalist, responsible, security-focused, and often scanning for potential threats. Type 7 is the enthusiast, spontaneous, fun-loving, and driven by a desire to avoid pain and maximize experiences. Type 8 is the challenger, powerful, assertive, and driven to protect themselves and others from vulnerability. Type 9 is the peacemaker, easygoing, agreeable, and motivated by a deep desire for inner and outer peace. I'm a Type 3 with a 2 wing, the achiever with a strong dose of the helper. That means I'm wired for success and motivated to be seen as competent and accomplished. But I also genuinely care about supporting and empowering others. In business, this can be a superpower. I can inspire, lead, and serve all at the same time. But when I'm not grounded, it can become performative. I've had to learn to separate who I am from what I achieve. My value is not in the outcome. My worth is not in the hustle. Now, my husband, Mike, is a very different type. He's a Type 7 with an 8 wing. The enthusiast meets the challenger. Mike is full of energy, ideas, adventure, and fun. He's constantly dreaming, brainstorming, and pushing boundaries. As a 7, he loves variety and freedom, and he hates feeling trapped. The 8 wing adds boldness, intensity, and a desire to be in control of his environment. He's a visionary and a risk taker, and he's brought so much joy and momentum into our life and business. But he's also had to learn to slow down, finish what he starts, and be present with discomfort instead of always running from it. That's what I love about the Enneagram. It not only helps you understand yourself, but it helps you understand the people closest to you. I've learned how to support Mike without trying to make him more like me. And I've given myself permission to stop chasing outcomes and start aligning with purpose. In business, the Enneagram is a powerful tool for leadership, team building, and messaging. When you know your type, you become more aware of your patterns, especially when you're stressed. For a type 3, stress might look like overcommitting and tying your identity to your productivity. For a type 7, stress might look like a distraction, avoidance, or shiny object syndrome. But when you see it, you can shift it. You can course correct. This awareness also helps you to show up more authentically in your brand and business. Instead of mimicking what's working for someone else, you can lean fully into what works for you. When you know your strengths, your blind spots, and your motivations, you make better decisions. You lead with confidence. You attract clients who align with your values, not just your visuals. If you haven't taken the Enneagram, I highly recommend starting there. But go beyond the test. Read the descriptions, reflect on the core fears and desires, and most importantly, use it as a mirror, not a box. It's not here to limit you, it's here to liberate you. I'll include a link in the show notes where you can find an Enneagram test to take to learn more about yours. The next tool I want to share with you is the Kolbe Index. And let me just say, this one changed the game for how I show up in my work, how I delegate, how I lead teams, and even how I communicate with my husband. Kolbe is different from personality tests like the Enneagram. Kolbe measures how you naturally take action. It's based on your cognitive strengths, your instinctive problem-solving style. In other words, when you're faced with a challenge, how do you naturally move forward? Kolbe breaks down into 4 modes: fact finder, follow through, quick start, and implementer. Each person has a unique combination across these modes, and they fall on a scale from short to long, not better or worse, just different ways we're wired to operate. When I joined my San Diego finance firm, my boss was working with Dan Sullivan from the Strategic Coach, and part of the hiring process was using the Kolbe. Before I was officially hired, I had to take the assessment. At the time, I didn't realize how powerful this was. But looking back, it made perfect sense. If you're going to bring someone onto a team and expect them to thrive, you want to understand how they naturally operate, not force them into a mold. My results came back as a long red and a long blue. That means I'm high in fact finder and follow through. I'm someone who needs clarity and context before making decisions. I want to research, compare options, and gather as much information as possible. Then, once I've made a decision, I want systems. I want structure. I want everything mapped out and organized. That's the red and the blue working together. This wiring is why I was so successful in finance. I could take in huge amounts of data, synthesize it, and turn it into a plan. But it's also why in entrepreneurship, I've had to be very intentional about how I work, because my instinct is to gather all the information and build all the systems, which can lead to over-preparation, analysis paralysis, or staying stuck in planning instead of executing. Understanding my Kolbe helped me see that I need to partner with people who balance me out, especially in areas like quick start. My husband Mike, for example, is a long green. He's the visionary. He's the person that makes strong decisions fast. He's high in implementer. He's the hands-on, build it in real time guy. He's not going to create a color-coded system before taking action. He's going to jump in, get his hands dirty, and figure it out as he goes. At first, this caused friction in our relationship and in our businesses. I wanted the spreadsheets. He wanted to just start. But once we understood our Kolbe results, we realized we weren't wrong. We were just wired differently. And when we started honoring those differences instead of trying to change them, everything got easier. In business, Kolbe is hugely valuable in getting the right people into the right seats on the bus. If you're a visionary, you need to hire people who are strong in implementation. For me, it has helped me delegate more effectively, build better teams, and even market more authentically. I stopped expecting everyone to work the way I do. I started building systems that allowed people to operate in their zone of genius. And when I brought people onto my management team, I used their Kolbe to help match them with roles that felt natural, not forced. This tool is especially important for entrepreneurs because when you're wearing all the hats, it's easy to feel like you have to do it all. But the truth is, the tasks that drain you are probably the ones that fall outside of your cognitive strengths. And by knowing your Kolbe, you can protect your energy, build smarter systems, and bring in support that complements your strengths. If you're feeling resistance or burnout in your work, Kolbe might be the key to unlocking a whole new level of flow. It's not about changing who you are. It's about designing your business around how you naturally thrive. Next up is a tool that helped me understand not just how I work, but how I move through the world. Human design was unlike anything I'd ever encountered. When I first discovered human design, I felt like someone had handed me a permission slip to finally live and build in a way that matched my energy, instead of constantly trying to override it. Human design breaks people into 5 energy types. There are manifestors, generators, manifesting generators, projectors, and reflectors. Each type has a unique role, energy pattern, and decision-making strategy. I'm a manifesting generator, which means I'm designed to move fast, pivot often, and follow what lights me up. We're the multi-passionate doers of the world. Manifesting generators are built for efficiency and momentum. We skip steps sometimes. We change direction a lot. We have a hard time sticking to just one path. For a long time, I thought that was a flaw. I'd start a project and get excited about something else. I'd launch a program and then want to shift directions. And I'd make myself wrong for it, thinking I had to force myself to be more consistent or more linear. Human design helped me see that this was actually a gift. I'm not meant to do just one thing. I'm meant to explore, refine, and share what I learn in real time. When I follow what lights me up, everything flows. When I try to stick what I quote-unquote should do, I burn out. It's also taught me my strategy, which is to respond. I am not designed to push or initiate from my head. I am designed to respond to what's happening around me, whether that's something I see, hear, or feel in my gut. That was huge because for years I tried to force my way forward with hustle, plans, and overthinking. Now I wait for inspiration, for clarity, for something to respond to, and then I act with speed and confidence. Human design also revealed my authority, how I make decisions. I have sacral authority, which means that my body responds in the moment. I get a full body yes or a full body no. And when I listen to that, I make aligned decisions. When I override it with logic or people pleasing, I get off track. Learning to trust my yes and no has simplified my business in the most beautiful way, and it's something I help my clients with on a daily basis. When they are trying to force a situation in their business or life, especially in regards to a location or a staff member or the identity of a brand, I believe that if you take a step back and just let things flow a bit more, the answer will reveal itself. In your business, knowing your human design type, you choose aligned offers, marketing strategies, and work rhythms. For example, projectors are meant to guide and advise, not grind all day. Generators need work that energizes them. Manifestors need freedom to initiate on their own terms. And reflectors need time and space before making big decisions. It's not about fitting yourself into someone else's business model. It's about creating one that honors how your energy works best. Once I embraced my manifesting generator nature, I stopped feeling bad for being multi-passionate. I let go of the guilt around changing directions, and I built a business that was flexible enough to evolve as I did. If you've ever felt like you were too much or not enough, human design might just be the map back to your truth. And then the final assessment I want to share with you today is incredibly close to my heart because it was created by one of my very best friends and branding genius, Kelly Lucenti. It's called the Remarkability System, and it's part of the reason I wanted to record this entire episode. We'll dive deeper into it in a future conversation with Kelly herself, but I wanted to introduce it to you today from my own perspective especially in contrast to the other assessments we've already covered. The Enneagram, Kolbe, and Human Design all give you a beautiful mirror to understand your internal wiring, your motivations, your energy, and your natural strengths. And that's crucial. You need to know yourself first. But what the Remarkability System does is take that self-awareness and help you express it to the world clearly, confidently, and powerfully. This is where so many women entrepreneurs get stuck. You do the inner work. You uncover your voice. You know that you have something special to offer. But then you sit down to write your website, your bio, or your social media post, and the words just don't come. Or worse, they come out sounding like everyone else. You end up marketing with someone else's voice, not your own. What I love about Remarkability is that it helps you find the exact language to describe what makes you different, why it matters, and how to position yourself with clarity and conviction. It bridges the gap between your internal identity and your external brand. It doesn't try to box you into a fake persona or force you into formulas. It helps you discover your DNA and your unique combination of style, tone, impact, and value. And then it shows you how to turn that into aligned messaging. When I took the Remarkability assessment, it didn't just confirm what I already knew about myself, it gave me the words, it gave me phrases, positioning statements, and clarity that I could use in my copy, my offers, my pitches, and even how I show up on video. It helped me connect the dots between what I felt and what I could say in a way that resonates with the exact people I'm meant to serve. That kind of clarity is priceless, especially when you're building a personal brand or running a business where you are the product. Whether you're writing an Instagram bio, building a sales page, or introducing yourself at an event, being able to articulate your difference in a compelling, authentic way is the difference between blending in and standing out. And the best part? This system wasn't designed by some corporate agency that's out of touch with our world. It was built by a woman entrepreneur who's walked this same path, who deeply understands both identity and influence. And whenever I've struggled to identify how to make all my multi-passionate business loves work together, Kelly has helped me clarify how they work together or maybe don't, get out of my own head, stop second-guessing my message, and step more boldly into how I show up in the world. And I know she can do the same for you. If you've ever struggled to put words to your magic or wondered how to sound like yourself in your marketing, this is the assessment that you may not know you needed. Today, we've walked through 4 of my favorite self-awareness tools that have radically shifted the way I live, lead, and build. The Enneagram, the Kolbe Index, Human Design, and the Remarkability System. Each of these tools has played a unique role in helping me peel back the layers of who I thought I needed to be so I could finally reconnect with who I am. Each of these tools gave me something different, but together they gave me a roadmap, a way to align my internal truth with my external expression, a way to stop chasing formulas and finally trust myself in a way that actually fits. So here are your action steps. Choose one of the tools that we talked about today and dive deeper. Start with the one that sparked your curiosity or made you feel seen. Reflect on this question. Where in my life or business am I still performing instead of showing up fully expressed? Give yourself permission to do it differently. Maybe that's delegating based on your Kolbe. Maybe it's trusting your human design strategy. Maybe it's rewriting your bio in your real voice and not the voice you think you're supposed to be. The journey to clarity doesn't happen overnight, but every time you choose alignment over expectation, clarity over confusion, and expression over perfection, you reclaim more of your power. And that's what I want for you. A business and life that feels like freedom. A rhythm that matches your energy. A message that resonates because it's real. You were never meant to be a copy. You were designed to be a category of one. You already have the brilliance. These tools just help you see it, trust it, and share it with the world. But for now, I hope today gave you the permission and practical steps to start building your life and business around the best asset you'll ever have, you.